here and abroad. Thank you. If we could please remain standing for a moment of silence in honor of our former mayor, Thomas Fallon, who passed away this summer, and Patty Peluso, longtime employee of the Malden Senior Center. Thank you. Clerk will call the roll, please.
Councilor Anderson. Here. Bucci. Here. Christensen. Here. Condon. Here. Fallon. Here. Kinnan. Here. Lucy. Here. Murphy. Here. Nestor. Spatafora. Here. DePietro.
Here. First order of business.
Minutes of the council meetings of June 29th, June 30th, and July 15th.
On Council Christian's motion to approve, all those in favor? Aye. All those opposed? The ayes have it. Minutes are approved. Next order of business, please.
Dear members of the council, in accordance with the provisions of Mass General Laws, Chapter 40B, Section 24, I hereby appoint Deborah A. Burke as the City of Malden representative to the Metropolitan Area Planning Council for a term of 3 years, effective July 1st, 2010. Very truly yours, Richard C. Howard, Mayor. Confirmation is not required.
On Councilor Christensen's motion to place on file, all those in favor? Aye. All those opposed? The ayes have it. Paper is placed on file.
Dear members of the council, under the provisions of law, I hereby appoint Roberta A. Johnson of 154 Clifton Street, Malden, as a constable to serve process in the City of Malden effective August 4th, 2010. Said term to expire August 4th, 2013. Very truly yours, Richard C. Howard, Mayor. Confirmation is not required.
On Councilor Christensen's motion to place on file, all those in favor? Aye. All those opposed? The ayes have it. Paper is placed on file.
Application for license to drive a taxi cab, Charles Kirkless, 350 Cross Street, Malden. Amy Wickham, 25 Grover Street, Malden. Peter Russo, 224 Kennedy Drive, Malden. John D. Filippo, 10 Bolton Street, Waltham. Linda Chockless, 348 Salem Street, Malden. Gabrielle Guest, 12 Mount Vernon Street, Melrose. Application for livery license, Malden Community Livery Service, 863 Salem Street. Application for license to drive a livery, Kendall Anton, 863 Salem Street.
Refer to license. Thank you, Councilor. On Councilor Anderson's motion to refer to license, all those in favor? Aye. All those opposed? The ayes have it. Licenses. Matters are referred to License Committee.
Application for renewal of a self-service gasoline station, Hess Corporation, 214 to 221 Broadway.
Refer to license. On Councilor Anderson's motion to refer to license, all those in favor? Aye. All those opposed? The ayes have it. Matter is referred to license.
Application for an extended hours permit, Jimbo's Place, 639 Broadway.
Refer to license, please. On Councilor Anderson's motion to refer to license, all those in favor? All those opposed? The ayes have it. Matter is referred to license.
Ordered that the City of Malden approve the Malden Retirement Board's acceptance of the increased retirement allowance under Section 101 of Chapter 32 of the Mass General Laws as authorized by Sections 26 and 27 of Chapter 131 of the Acts of 2010. Councilor Nestor.
Councilor Nestor is unable to be here tonight. Councilor Kennan, Vice Chair.
Yes, this has to do with the retirement for widows of deceased spouses. And so this is the retirement board approved it. It would raise potentially the benefit from $6,000 to $9,000. And we would have to take action on it as well, so we refer it to finance.
Thank you, Councilor Kinnon. Any questions of the chairman? Seeing none, on Councilor Kinnon's motion to refer to finance, all those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? The ayes have it. Matter is referred to finance.
Resolved that it is the sense of the City Council that the Traffic Commission extend the emergency zone in front of 630 Salem Street to provide emergency vehicles with improved access to the building. Councilor Kinnon.
Councilor Kinnon on the paper.
Yes, I've heard this. Again, this speaks for itself, but I was talking to the director, Stephen Finn. He requested that I put this through because of the residents in a number of instances where there wasn't enough space for the fire vehicles and other emergency vehicles to stop and park in front of the 630 Salem Street.
You see. Thank you, Councilor Kinnon. On Councilor Kinnon's motion to pass, all those in favor? Aye. All those opposed? The ayes have it. Resolve is passed.
Resolved that it is the sense of the City Council that the Traffic Commission designate 15-minute parking on a section of the northwest side of Salem Street between Maplewood Square and Columbia Street. Councilor Kinnon.
On Councilor Kinnon, bit of a paper, please.
Yes, this is at the request of a couple of businesses down there in terms of they are quick stop businesses and need, rather than 2-hour parking, probably be just one spot in that location on the northwest side between actually Lebanon Street and Columbia. So.
Thank you, Councilor Kinnon. On Councilor Kinnon's motion to pass, all those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? The ayes have it. Both matters are referred to the Traffic Commission.
Resolved that it is the sense of the City Council that the Traffic Commission install a stop sign at the intersection of Fellsmere Road and Savin Street. Councilor DePietro.
Yes, this is a little intersection that merges onto Savin Street. People park at Fellsmere Pond to either walk or have some recreation, and then when they venture out onto Savin Street, there's buses that are coming down off the hill. And I'd like the Traffic Commission to study the possibility of putting a stop sign there in order to avoid a tremendous accident. So appreciate it. Support there. On Councilor DePietro's motion to pass, all those in favor? All those opposed? The ayes have it. Matters referred to traffic. Thank you. Next order of business.
Whereas the Malden City Council has initiated and funded from the Community Development Block Grant Fund money to assist in the development of a master plan for the Malden community, and whereas the master plan is a community-based effort that includes critical planning elements for the city per Mass General Laws, Chapter 41, Section 81D, and whereas the City of Malden recognizes that a master plan is an important policy tool for informing future growth and development, and whereas the Malden City Council believes that implementation of the Malden Master Plan is critical to the health of our local economy, the preservation of our neighborhoods, and guidance of future residential development, the maintenance of existing and planning for future multimodal transportation networks, the preservation and protection of natural and cultural resources, and the provision of excellent community facilities and public services. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Malden City Council endorses the Malden Master Plan as an expression of the community's aspirations for the future of Malden, to use as a tool for Malden's planning and development activities via the Malden Planning Board, and to ensure that any city-initiated long-range policies, plans, and strategies are consistent with the master plan. And be it further resolved that the city continue to work with key stakeholders to implement the plan and see the goals and objectives are realized. Councilor Bucci.
Councilor Bucci for the paper.
Thank you. As you all know, the actual planning for the city's master plan has been underway since 2007. I think colleagues here in the chamber were actually the pioneers and folks getting this piece rolling out. The last comprehensive master plan that we've had were in the late 70s for the city of Malden. Before you tonight is the overall product of the good work of the citizens It was a three-phase project from reaching out to our citizens to defining their information and their input into recommendations around land use. And tonight we have, in fact, a very fruitful and very informative wealth of information regarding some good guidelines to remind us as we go forward designing and developing or making any changes in the city of Malden. So, my hope is to move this back to the Citizens Engagement Committee for its continued navigation through the process, and that's what I'm hoping for support tonight.
Thank you, Councilor Bucci. Any questions of Councilor Bucci? Seeing none, on Councilor Bucci's motion to refer to the Citizens Engagement Committee, all those in favor? All those opposed? Matters referred to the Citizens Engagement Committee. Thank you. Next order of business.
Resolved that it is the sense of the City Council that the Public Safety Committee meet with the Fire Commissioner and Fire Chief to discuss plans for manning and deployment in light of present fiscal constraints. Councilor Bucci.
Thank you. Again, in light of a fair amount of resident communications that we've been having in the last few weeks, my hope is that this will be moved to the Safety Committee for further discussion with the Malden Fire Commissioner and Fire Chief to discuss what plans we will be having going forward with the current staffing relevant to our budget constraints. So my recommendation is to move it to the Public Safety Committee.
Thank you, Councilor Bucci. Any questions of the council? Seeing none, on Councilor Bucci's motion to pass, all those in favor? All those opposed? The ayes have it. Matters referred to the Public Safety Committee. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next order of business.
Resolved that it is the sense of the City Council that the Traffic Commission consider permitting parking on only one side of Revere Street. Councilor Bucci.
Councilor Bucci, please.
Thank you. This has come before me, again, speaking with the residents that live in that area. During a time that I was away from the city on vacation, there was some difficulty with a fire apparatus maneuvering to respond to a particular event. And we've always had some challenges in that particular area of Revere Street as it meets with Salem Street. So my hope is that the Traffic Commission would look at that as a request from those that are living in that area to make it one-side parking only.
Thank you, Councilor Bucci. Any questions of the council? Seeing none, on Councilor Bucci's motion to pass, all those in favor? All those opposed? The ayes have it. Matters are referred to the Traffic Commission.
Thank you.
Resolved that it is the sense of the City Council that the Traffic Department repaint street markings on Salem Street from Home Street to Broadway. Councilor Bucci.
Councilor Bucci, please.
As we all know, we've had some resurfacing in an area of Salem Street as it crosses 99 that was well needed. But while that work was done and completed from the Home Street to the actual set of lights, there may be a signalization to turn left, but the markings on the street don't exist. So it is a two-lane area, and it would be most helpful and I think a much safer area to maneuver if we were able to have traffic repaint those markings on the street so that we could have one lane turning left up 99 and the other going straight. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Bucci. Any questions of the council? Seeing none, on Councilor Bucci's motion to pass, all those in favor? All those opposed? The ayes have it. Matters referred to the Traffic Commission.
Thank you.
The claim of Pasquale Piccioni, 59 Echo Street.
On Councilor Kinnon's motion to refer to Finance, all those in favor? All those opposed? The ayes have it. Matters referred to Finance. Next order of business.
On Councilor Kinnon's motion to take paper number 196 from the table, ordered that the City of Malden accept Mass General Laws, Chapter 64L, regarding the local options meals tax.
On Councilor Kinnon's motion to take paper number 196 from the table, all those in favor? Aye. All those opposed? Yeah. The ayes have it. Matter is taken from the table. On Councilor Kinnon's motion to refer to finance. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? The ayes have it. The paper is referred to finance.
On Councilor Kinnon's motion to meet in executive session with the police chief for the purpose of discussing deployment of police personnel.
All those in favor? Oh, we'll have to have a roll call on that.
I'm sorry, you need a roll call, but he wants one for personal privilege first.
Before I entertain a roll call vote, please, on that, if I could, before I take a roll call vote on that, I'd like to extend personal privilege at this time. For anybody would care to have personal privilege, please put it on your light so I could recognize you. We'll start on my left. Councilor Kinnon? No, I'm sorry, Councilor Murphy. Barbara Murphy, Councilor Murphy. Personal privilege.
First of all, I'd like to thank all of the firemen here tonight and everyone who fought the fire at Burdett Court a week ago Friday. It was quite a fire, and I thank you that you were there and able to, put it out, and that there was not anyone. There were no deaths involved, although there were a number of people hurt. I would also like to recognize Sean Ritchie and Jack Delaney from the police department, who were on the scene and went in and actually helped with the search and rescue. So many thanks from all of the people in Ward 5, the surrounding neighbors, and myself included in this city for all your hard work and dedication in keeping us all safe in this city. I would also like to alert the residents of Ward 5 that we will be having our third quarter Ward 5 meeting before the end of September. Council is not in session next week, so I would ask everyone to please look at Facebook. Send me your email if you haven't to murphyforward5@yahoo.com, because I will be sending out an email. We'll also post it on MATV in the papers, so please keep your eyes open for the date and time for our third quarterly meeting. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Murphy. Councilor Gary Christensen, please, for personal privilege.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. President. I just want to first start off by thanking Ken Mazonson, who is the commissioner of the Malden Neighborhood Basketball League. I think, as some of you know, we were able to have our first ever outdoor basketball league for 10th, 11th, and 12th graders at Green Street Park, otherwise known as MacArthur Park. It took place during July and August. We had about 40 to 50 kids playing 2 nights a week. There were playoffs, uniforms, referees. The whole, as it's set up indoors, was outdoors. So I want to compliment Ken Mazonson and also my 2 colleagues, Greg Lucy, Craig Spatafora, and I think some of the other councilors who expressed their gratitude that we were able to, accomplish this league, particularly during bad times. And it's our hope, based upon what we saw during the summer, that we'll be able to expand upon it in 2011. The second thing I wanted to let folks know on the council is Medford, Bellrock, Green Street, the long-going saga of that area. There's been another change, but I think we're at the end of where we need to be. We're going to be taking those barrels out that have been there for some time now, and we're going to trial a 3-way stop sign at Converse and Bellrock, and that really should appease everybody that's living in that area. It accomplishes the biggest goal, which is making Green Street a one-way off of Medford Street permanent, which has been the original problem to begin with. So that should happen in the next couple of weeks, and Bellrock will be reopened with the stop sign at Converse and Bellrock. Also want to just mention, I know Councilor Nestor was going to, but he's not here, about the upcoming Harvest Moon Festival. That's going to be at Fellsmere Pond, which you're heavily involved with. Carol Melly had asked if anybody wants information on the event. It's 781-321-6504. That's going to be, I think, Saturday, September 25th from 10:30 to 4:30. And then just 2 other comments is the Malden Cultural Council, I think, as you know, is meeting this Saturday That's at 9:30 at the Malden Public Library, 36 Salem Street. And that's an information meeting to get ready to go through the grant process in the fall. And then final, I just want to compliment Sheriff DePaula. Pat Donahue, who was an assistant coach with the Malden High School Golden Tornadoes. At a senior staff meeting, the sheriff asked what the upcoming season looked like and what the schedule was, and Pat replied that the first game is going to be played this Saturday on 9/11. And so immediately, the bells went off that we really should do something to commemorate the victims and the family. So the experience with the World War II ceremony, Flag Day, and Memorial Day, I was dispatched to assist Pat Donahue and John Wilcox with working with Dan Keefe and Dana Brown. And Adam Weldon is involved with the band and the choral arts now, where we're going to have a short ceremony this Saturday at McDonald Stadium. The kickoff is 1:30. It's our hope to have a short ceremony from 1:15 to 1:30 to remember the victims and the families. We have obviously the choral arts will do the national anthem. The band will play the patriotic medley, and there's some other things that we're trying to work out within the time leading up to the kickoff. But just want to compliment the Tornadoes and the Malden Public Schools for readily saying that they wanted to do something to remember the victims and the families. So obviously this just came up recently, very quick, but it is going to be this Saturday, 9/11 McDonald Stadium, and I would ask folks to get there, around 1:15, and then it should wrap up by 1:30. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Councilor Christensen. Councilor Deb Fallon.
Thank you, Mr. President. Actually, I might be a little bit out of order here, but we passed over, before going to personal privilege, you had mentioned something that about talking about personnel issues and moving into executive session for the police department.
Yes.
Just for the public's information, because we've had a lot of questions on executive session, would you mind or maybe Councilor Kinnan, would you mind just elaborating that on a little bit as to why we would need to go into executive session for that purpose?
Yes, we plan to go into executive session, although we cannot do it out here because there is sensitive matters to be discussed regarding deployment of personnel and whatnot. We cannot have that out into the street because the bad guys will be listening and take advantage of it. So that is the reason for it.
Thank you. I just have a couple of announcements, and thank you, Mr. President, for allowing the moment of silence in remembrance of my father. I appreciate that. And while the members of the Malden Fire Department and the Malden Police Department are here, I want to thank you on behalf of my family for that wonderful support that you provided to us at my father's wake and funeral service. It will never be forgotten. And he was a good man, thought well of the fire department, the police department being a cop's son, and that really touched every member of my family, and I appreciate that very much. In the same vein as talking about veterans, the American Legion Post 69 in Malden had asked me to announce that the club is reestablishing, and I mention this because so many of you are veterans here yourselves. They're reestablishing the Blue Star Service Banner Program, and they gave an example of what, I'll show it to you because you're here. This is an example of what the flag looks like. And the American Legion would like to hear from Malden families who have service members who are on active duty right now because you're eligible for membership in the Blue Star Banner program. And their telephone number is 781-324-9570. On September 15th, I'm also going to be hosting the next community series meeting to the public at the VFW Hall at 6 p.m. And while that meeting was initially for the purposes of talking about the Pay-As-You-Throw program, how people are feeling about that program now, what is that program benefiting, there's been so much violence in the last 5 days with 3 murders. There have been so many multiple alarm fires that have rocked this community since January 9 of them, I believe, that with all the calls that we're getting in about the budget and how those cuts are impacting our community's safety, we're going to be having members of the Malden Fire Department and the Malden Police Department at that meeting. And the public's activism, I encourage, and it's needed now more than ever. So I encourage any of you here in the audience to come out and support our firefighters, to come out and support our police officers, because public safety is the leading problem that we're hearing from our community members, and we need your help in being able to bring some ideas to the table to bring people back on the job. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Fallon. Seeing no other lights, if I could, I'd just like to tell the general public that next week we will not be meeting because it's primary election day. So there will not be a city council meeting at that time. And if the roll call passes regarding the executive session, at the conclusion of that executive session, we will just be coming out and adjourning. There will be no other business conducted at that time. So on Councilor Kinnon's motion to meet with the police chief in executive session for the purpose of discussing deployment of police personnel, the clerk will call the roll, please.
Councilor Anderson? Yes. Bucci? Christensen? Yes. Condon? Yes. Fallon? Yes. Kinnon? Yes. Lucy? Murphy? Spatafora? Yes. DePietro?
Yes. Motion carried.
He did.
Yes. Motion carried. We'll now recess to executive session. Thank you.
Let me go get Jimmy's in my